to today's session. Myself Rajita, and in this session of today's, we are going to discuss about the concept of health and illness. So, in the last session, we have basically seen the introduction of medical surgical nursing. I hope you got the concept that in this particular specialty of nursing, we are going to deal with the patient who are undergoing any medical illness, maybe who requires a specialized treatment like surgeries in order to cure the problem. Now, nurses, as we are dealing with each one of the patient, we should definitely provide a comprehensive nursing care in order to promote their health, prevent the disease, cure the illness, as well as we should also provide the rehabilitative care so that they can maintain the quality of life. Now, before going to discuss about this disease condition or how it is affecting the individual, how the disease process is occurring, what is the nurse's role in the management of the particular individual with a particular disease, definitely we should first learn about the concept of health and disease. In today's session, our discussion will be the same. So in today's session, we're going to learn about the concept of health and diseases. We're going to learn about the philosophies of health, dimensions of health. So let us start with the discussion of health now. So if we talk about health, health is a particular concept which has been evolved from the centuries, or we can say throughout the centuries, as a concept from individual concern towards the worldwide social goal, and also encompasses the whole quality of life. Basically, it is that concept which is there since a long time. But with the time, the concept of health has evolved. Now, we are going to see the changing concept of health. Still, it is present, and how it has been changed one by one. What are the different concepts of health is present? We are going to discuss it now. So basically, we're going to see there are four major concepts about health is present, or we can say there are four major perspectives through which the fact, that is the health, has been seen and researched or studied. Now, in this session, first we are going to learn about the four major concepts of health. So the first concept of health is the biomedical concept. We are going to learn the detail about the biomedical concept in later. So first we are going to learn about the name of the concept of health. So the first one being the biomedical concept. The second one being the ecological concept. The third one being is the psychosocial concept, and the fourth one being is the holistic concept. So I hope you understood that the first one is being the biomedical concept, the next one is being the ecological concept, the third one is psychosocial, and the fourth one is holistic concept. So now we will be discussing one by one what are this concept of health are. So biomedical concept. It is a traditional concept where we have believed that health means absence of diseases. Depending on this biomedical concept, we consider that if a person is free from diseases, they are considered as a healthy individual. So basically, this particular biomedical concept has the basis of germ theory of diseases. So the medical professionals, as a traditional way, have considered that our body or our individual body is a machine, whereas the disease is a cause because of what the machine have been broken down. So that's how the biomedical concept is basically focusing on the absence of disease process within a particular individual body. The next, we are going to read about the ecological concept. So if we talk about the health in the ecological point of view, we are going to see in this concept, we are gonna view the health as a equilibrium between the human being and the environment. So if we talk about the in ecological perspective, we say that if an individual human being is maintaining a equilibrium with their environment, whether it is internal or external environment, if they're maintaining the equilibrium, the person is healthy. Whereas the disease condition, if it is present in an individual's body, it is causing a maladjustment of the human organism to the environment. So I hope you are clear. Through ecological point of view, we are going to term the health as a factor where the individual's body and its internal and external environment is in an equilibrium state. Whereas the disease is causing certain maladjustment of the human being with their environment. So according to a researcher, that is Dubose, we can say the ecological concept of health basically suggests that the health implies the relative absence of pain and discomfort and a continuous adaptation and adjustment to the environment to ensure the optimal function. I'll repeat once again. According to Dubose, the health implies the absence of pain and discomfort and a continuous adaptation and adjustment with the environment to gain the optimal functioning. Here basically it is suggesting that if a person is out of any pain or discomfort, they will definitely be adopting the changes into the environment, as well as they will be tend to adjusting with the changes within the environment. That's how they will be able to achieve the optimal functional level of them. So that's how a person, if they are able to do so, if they're able to continuously change and adjust according to the need of the environment, then they are considered as healthy. So I hope you got the difference between the biomedical concept and ecological concept. So in the first concept of biomedical concept of health, we have seen if there is absence of disease, we are calling the individual as healthy in a biomedical point of view. Whereas we are discussing the ecological point of view, we are getting if our individual is able to adjust and adopt with the environmental changes, then we are calling the person as a healthy individual. So the ecological concept basically rises two issues. This concept rises to issues which includes the imperfect man or imperfect individual or imperfect environment. So either the individual person will be having certain imperfection because of what they will not be able to adjust and adopt with the changes within the environment, or else the environment will be imperfect where the person will get some negative effect out of it. That's how the ecological concept have rises to basic issues which is causing disturbance of our health. So I hope you are clear about the biomedical and ecological concept. So now we will move on to the psychosocial concept of health. Now, according to psychosocial concept of health, it has been seen that, or it has been stated that health is not only a biomedical phenomenon, but it is influenced with the social, psychological, cultural, economical, even the political factors of the people concerned. So it is not only the absence of disease, but the health is more than that. Even the psychosocial concept has been stated that a person will be considered as healthy when all other factors like social, psychological, cultural, political, even economical factor are present in an equilibrium state with a particular individual. So it is not only present, or it is not only bothered about the absence of a physical disease, but it is also including the factor related to psychology, sociology, and also it is related to, depends on the cultural practices, their beliefs, the economical status, as well as the political factors. So that's how the psychosocial factor is a broader aspect of the health. In the next, we are going to read now about the holistic concept of health. Now, holistic concept is a synthesis all other concepts. So we have read about the biomedical concept, the ecological concept, and the psychosocial concept. Now, holistic concept of health basically is a synthesis of all this other concept of health. So it recognizes the strength of social, economical, political, and psychological influence, even the environmental influence over the health. So that's how the holistic concept have described the health as a unified or a multi-dimensional process involving the well-being of a whole person in context with their environment. So in holistic approach, or in holistic concept, we are seeing that the individual well-being is considered as a whole person, where it is said that the health is a multi-dimensional process. It have different dimensions, and healthy person is who is managing and maintaining a normal living without the presence of any disease, and maintaining an equilibrium with the environment surrounding them. That's how the holistic approach or the holistic concept is basically considering an individual as a whole person. They're considering the physical part, psychological part, psychosocial part, as well as economical, political, and environmental factors while talking about the health. So I hope till here you are completely clear about the concept of health. Next, we're going to read about the definition of health now. So according to the Webster Dictionary, we have seen the health is defined as the condition of being sound of mind, body, and spirit, especially free from physical pain and diseases. So here basically we have seen that this has been defined the health as a sound state of mind, body, and the spirit, where an individual is completely free from any diseases or pain, basically free from any suffering. So now we are going to read about the second definition given by World Health Organization. So the definition of health given by World Health Organization suggests that the health is a state of complete physical, social, mental, and psychological well-being, not merely the absence of any disease or any infirmity. So, in recent years, the definition has been also amplified to include the ability to lead socially and economically productive life. Basically, here is a complete definition of health where it has considered that the person or an individual person should be in a state of complete physical, social, psychological, and mental well-being, where there will not be presence of any disease or infirmity, and the person will be able to lead economically and socially productive life. So basically here we are trying to focus that the person will be maintaining the equilibrium in the society while living a life. So that's how the definition suggests the condition of health. So I hope through the concept and definition, you got the idea where the person is leading a life without any discomfort, pain, or disease, and they're leading a productive life where they are working in a productive manner. They are productive in economical and social way and leading their life. We are considering that particular individual is healthy. Now we are going to read about the philosophy of health. So the first philosophical aspect of health suggests that the health is a fundamental human right. So every individual who is present in the world and leading their life have a right to get adequate health. So that's the reason the health is actually a condition which should be got by every individual present in the today's scenario. So health is basically considered as a human right. They have, or all the general population have, right to access to the health. The second philosophical aspect of health suggests that the health is essence of productive life. So if we discuss about this point in a simple term, we will definitely see a client or a particular individual will be productive in their life when they are present in a healthy state. If a person is present with certain disease which is affecting their physiological phenomena, that is affecting their physical health and psychological health, we have seen the client will not be productive enough socially and they will be unwell or unable to meet the need of their life. Even they will be not in a state where they can lead a economically balanced life. That's the reason why the health is considered as the essence of productive life. The next philosophical term which is associated with health is suggest that the health is an intersectoral matter. So it is not only one particular field should deal with this health and their concept, right? Only medicines or only the particular health and medicines, this particular department or sector is not only should be bothered about the health of the individual, but all of the sectors, every aspect in the society, the health should be considered as a priority. Next concept is the health is an integral part of the development. Now, as we have already seen, the client or an individual person once born, they will be going throughout the life phases through the different aspect. So this all phases of life through this, a person will be maintaining an adequate amount of growth and development. So, health is basically a very much integral or important part of the development. Until and unless a person is healthy, they will not be able to attain the optimal functioning of themselves. The next concept is that the health is a central part of the quality of life. So, in order to improve health, a person should definitely have a very good health state. So, that's the reason it is considered that the quality of life, the central part of quality of life, is the health. Now, the next point suggests that health involves the individual, state, and international responsibility. So it is not only a individual's responsibility or a particular state's responsibility, but it is overall an international responsibility too, to improve the health of every individual who are present in the society. The next point says health and its maintenance need a major social investment. Definitely, we have seen maintaining health can be a challenging phase where definitely we should provide adequate investment from each one of the country, or internationally there should be a huge amount of investment through which the health can be improved by improving the quality of medical and nursing care, the treatment availability, as well as the new drugs and medicines, even new advanced technology. So that's the reason why definitely the health and its maintenance need a huge amount of investment. So last but not the least, it is the most important point of the philosophy of health, that the health is a worldwide social goal. Now, health is not only an individual's goal, but it is a worldwide social goal, because then only the quality of life of every individual in every corner of the world can be improved. Now we are going to next discuss about the dimension of health. So it has been considered that health is a multi-dimensional factor. So World Health Organization have explained that the health have multi-dimensional perspective, which include physical dimension, social dimension, spiritual dimension, and mental dimension. Beside this four main dimension of health, there are many more dimensions of health are cited, which includes emotional dimension, vocational dimension, political and philosophical dimension, cultural and socio-economic dimension, environmental and educational dimension, nutritional dimension, curative and preventive dimension of health. So the physical dimension of health views this particular fact of health from physiological perspective. Now it conceptualizes the health as a biological state which have or where the every organ and associative cell, even a particular cell, is functioning at their optimal capacity, and they have a harmony with the rest of the body. What I mean to say here is basically, if we talk about the health in the physical dimension, we are going to see it is considered that it is or it is seeing the health in a physiological perspective, where it is suggest that every single cell of an individual's body should have or attain the optimal functional capacity, and also should work with the harmony with the other cells of the body. then only a person can be in a complete healthy state. Now, the next is the physical health can be assessed in community level by the measurement of morbidity and mortality rates. So it's not like that the health will not be able to define or assessed. So even the health can be assessed through which if we get the morbidity and mortality rate from each community, we will be able to understand their status of health. So that's how basically the physical dimensions helps us to identify the or also helps us to assess the status of the health for a particular individual and their community. So that's how the physical dimension basically focus on the presence of disease and the functioning of the cells and each organ with the harmony with every other organs of the body. Next, we are going to read about the health in mental dimension. So it suggests, or mental dimensions of health suggest the ability to think clearly and coherently. Even this deals with a sound socialization within the community. As we know that a human is a social being, so it is very important that a person is maintaining a normal socialization with their community. Then only we can call the person as a healthy individual. So it is said that the mental health is a state of balance between an individual and the surrounding world. It is a state of harmony between an individual person and the other. So basically, there should be harmony within oneself as well as with the other people. Then only we can say the person is healthy in the mental dimension. So it is also said that the mental health is not merely an absence of mental illness. So it is not only deals with the mental illness, but it is more than that, where we are focusing about whether the individual is able to communicate and maintain a normal status of socialization in their community within oneself with the other people who are present in their surrounding environment. So next we are going to read about the social dimension. So if we talk about health in social dimension, generally it refers the ability of an individual to make and maintain relationship with the other people in the community. So it is also a part and very important part of health that the individual should be capable enough to build a relationship and maintain that relationship lifelong in the community or with the other people. It states the harmony and integration within and between each individual which are residing in a particular society. Basically, the social dimensions of health focus on the integration within the member of the particular society. So the social dimensions of health also includes the level of social skill one particular individual which they possess, social functional ability, as well as ability to see oneself as a member of the larger society. Next, as you have learned about the three basic concepts, that is the physical dimensions, the social dimensions, and the mental dimensions, next we are going to read about the fourth dimension, that is the spiritual dimensions. So spiritual health is basically connected with religious belief and practices. It also deals with personal creeds, principles of behavior, and their ways of achieving peace of mind. and being at peace with oneself. It is noted that a spiritually aware individual will be able to create a peaceful environment within oneself as well as with the other members of the society. That's the reason spiritual health basically talk about their religious belief, and that religious belief which basically influence and improve their way of behavior, their self concept, as well as the personal creeds, and also helps an individual to achieve the optimal peace within oneself, also helps an individual to build a peaceful environment and surrounding. It includes an individual's integrity, principle, and their ethics. Also, it helps to understand the purpose of life. It makes an individual to commit towards to achieve some higher goals, and also definitely helps an individual to achieve the self understanding. So that's how the spiritual dimension of health talk about the aspect of health which doesn't come under even in physical or social or psychological or mental dimension. That's how with these four dimensions, I hope you understood that the health is a multi-dimensional factors which depends on the spiritual, social, physical, and mental state of an individual. Now we are going to discuss about the two basic aspects of health, which generally includes the subjective aspect and the objective aspect of health. Now the subjective aspect of health basically suggests that it is formed by the sensation or feeling of a person who is suffering from a disease. Now the objective aspect of health basically suggests that it's a basis which is formed by the objective parameters. Now, these objective parameters generally are measured by the measurement of structure and the function of a person during a time of disease. The quality of life of an individual is considered to be assessed by understanding the subjective feeling communicated by the individual, as well as by evaluating the objective data from an individual by measuring their function and structure and their functioning of the organs of the body. So as now we have learned about the aspect, now we should definitely learn about the determinants of health. So there are factors which may negatively affect the health and leads the individual towards achieving the illness or disease. But there are certain factors which also influence the health and improve the quality of life. These factors positively affect the individual and helps them to achieve the optimum level of functioning. So here, now we should learn definitely regarding those determinants in detail. So definitely health, as it is a multidimensional factor, so definitely it is determined by multiple factors. Now, health of an individual or health of a complete whole community definitely depending on basic two factor. We can say this is the broader classification of the determinants of health, which includes the internal factors and the external factors. Internal factors, which is basically present within oneself. External factors are present in the surrounding environment of the particular individual. Now, the individual's factor generally includes their own bodily structure and function, their genetic factors, whereas the external factors includes the environmental factors. factors like various viruses, toxins, exposure to chemicals, and so on. Now, these all factors, the internal and external factors, basically interacts. Now, if the dominant factors are causing improvement, definitely the individual person will be tend to achieve optimum level of functioning and they will be moving towards health. But if the interaction of these factors causing a negative effect on a person's health, we are going to see they will be tending to go towards the illness or disease development by leaving the part of health, where the person will be more likely to suffer from pain and discomfort. So either the interaction of internal and external factor may improve or promote the health of the individual, or it will cause a deterioration of a health of an individual. Thus, the individual's or the community's health is considered as a result of the interaction of the internal and external factors. So the most important internal factor is the biological determinants. So we are going to read here now about the biological determinants, which include the genetic constitution. So it is the base of life. So every individual who are possessing a very good genetic constitution, definitely it is not likely, or for them it is may not be the disease progression will occur so soon until and unless the environmental factors are causing the alteration within their physiological function. Now, this genetic constitution, if it is altered, can cause the development of many diseases, which includes chromosomal anomalies, inborn error of metabolism, mental disorders, even some type of diabetes or other diseases too. So basically what I mean to say here that the genetic constitution of an individual, which is considered as the internal determinants of health, plays a very important role to improve the quality of life of an individual. Today's scenario, the genetic mutation is causing development of various diseases, which is basically deteriorating the person's quality of life as well as causing the life-threatening scenario development. Now, as we have learned regarding the internal factors, so I hope you understood that this basic factor, that is the genetic constitution and the functioning of the body organs, are the basic internal factors or determinants which influence the development of disease. The second factor is the environmental factor, or which also we can term as the external factors. These external factors not really will be present within the body system of an individual, but these factors will be present surrounding environment, which will be affecting the individual health. So first we are going to read about the biological factors or biological external factors. This include the disease producing agent, which example the viruses, bacteria, fungi, and many more microorganisms, which can actually invade the individual's body and can cause the development of disease. For example, as commonly we have seen, the human immunodeficiency virus, which is present externally, can invade in a person's or in the individual's body and can cause the breakdown of their immunity system, where the person will be more likely to suffer from acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, where the person will be more prone to get infections as well as where the person will be more likely to develop with infections. Even the opportunistic infections can be occurring for the particular individual. Here definitely the opportunistic infections means the person's own body flora will be causing the disease condition development, which is definitely is a causing because of the external factor, which is a biological agent of human immunodeficiency virus. Now, there are certain intermediate host also that basically helps in the transferring of this disease causing agents to the individual's body. It includes the mosquito or sandflies or maybe many other organisms which is acting as an intermediate host of this disease causing agent within the environment. Even there are certain vectors and reservoirs which also helps the individual to get with the exposure towards this disease causing agent within the environment. Now, this factors definitely increases the probability to develop with the diseases. So, these biological factors are also considered to be the determinant of health of an individual. The next is the physical determinants, which includes the air, water, light, noise, or soil, climate, and altitude. Even the waste production and management of it. This all factors helps or influences the individual's physiological functioning. Now, if there is any alteration within these physical factors, like for example, if there is air pollution that actually can cause an increased number of disease occurrence, that's how these physical factors too either can improve the health or the alteration of these physical factors also can deteriorate the health status of the individual and can cause the development of disease. Next factor is psychosocial. Definitely the social and cultural values, beliefs, and practices also influence the health of an individual. Unhygienic practices, irrational and unhygienic beliefs and practices can deteriorate the health within the community. That's the reason why the cultural values, beliefs, and practices can also increase the chances of the development of diseases. Now, the next factor is the lifestyle. So, a person, how they're maintaining their lifestyle also decide their quality of life and development of disease. So, there can be development of many of the habits which can cause deterioration of the health. Now, for example, the habit of smoking or the habit of alcohol consumption actually deteriorates the health of an individual. Also, their food habit, the pattern of life, personal hygiene, physical exercise and rest and sleep cycle, elimination cycle, and sexual behavior also influence the health of an individual. For example, if the habit or habit of smoking is there for an individual, they're more tend to cut. They're more tend to develop many of the diseases which is affecting their respiratory or cardiovascular system. For example, if a client is not following a proper diet or adequate diet which is rich in vitamin and minerals, definitely we may see that the person is tend to develop many other disease condition associated with cardiovascular system, gastrointestinal system. That's how each one of the factor which is associated with lifestyle also influence the health and can leads to the development of diseases. Now we are going to read about the socio-economic conditions or factors which is also considered as a determinant of health. So definitely the socio-economic consideration or socio-economic determinants basically consider the factor of education, occupation, and income of an individual. And this three factor, that is the education, occupation, and income, also considered to be one of the most influential determinants of health. So the world map of illiteracy closely coincides with the map of poverty, malnutrition, ill health, high infant and child mortality rates. So I hope with this statement you are understanding where the level of illiteracy is more or education is less, we can say. There, the development of poverty, malnutrition, mortality rate, basically mortality rate for the children is very much high. It is definitely because of the lack of knowledge and definitely because of the lack of knowledge regarding their lifestyle, their pattern of healthy living. Now, even the unemployment has shown increased chances of the development of ill health and many of psychological diseases. So that's how it is considered that a productive occupational life also promotes the individual healthy living, whereas the unemployment can cause deterioration of the health of an individual. Even the third part, that is the income, it has also shown improvement in the economical ability of an individual tend to increase their quality of life, life expectancies, and also reducing the morbidity and mortality. That's how we can see this three factor, that is the education, occupation, and income also influence the individual health and disease development. So I hope till here you are completely understood the concept of health of an individual. Here we have learned about four basic concept of health, that is the biomedical concept, ecological concept, as well as psychosocial and holistic concept of health. We have read about the definition and philosophies and determinants of health. I hope till here you are completely understood the concept of health. So thank you so much for attending the session. Stay tuned for the next session where we will be discussing regarding the concept of disease and illness. Thank you.